Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr.Md.Misbahul. Welcome you all to my channel. Today I will show you different parts of muscles of the face, neck and head of human body. So let's start. The first muscle we see here is the orbicularis oculi muscle, and this is the orbital part of orbicularis oculi muscle. This is the left side of the orbicularis oculi muscle, orbital part of orbicularis oculi muscle, and this is the right orbicularis oculi muscle, orbital part. Then orbicularis muscle has another part. This is the palpebral part of orbicularis oculi muscle. So this is the palpebral part of orbicularis oculi muscle. This is the right palpebral part of orbicularis oculi muscle. Now another muscle around your mouth is the marginal part of orbicularis oris muscle. Remember, the previous one was orbicularis oculi, and this muscle is the orbicularis oris muscle, and this is the marginal part. Another part of orbicularis oris muscle is the labial part of orbicularis oculi muscle. This is the labial part of orbicularis oris muscle. This is the labial part of orbicularis oculi muscle. Then focus on your jaw. The muscles here are the superficial part of masseter muscle. This is the one of the muscle of mastication. This is the superficial part of masseter muscle, right side, and this is the superficial part of masseter muscle of left side. Now focus on your nose. This is the transverse part of nasalis muscle. This is the transverse part of nasalis muscle of right side, and this is the alar part of nasalis muscle. Look carefully. This is the alar part of nasalis muscle. This is the alar part of nasalis muscle, and this is the transverse part of nasalis muscle. Now look at your chin. This muscle, the highlighted muscle is the depressor anguli oris muscle. This is the depressor anguli oris muscle of right side. This is the depressor anguli oris muscle of left side. And if we remove the depressor anguli oris muscle, the next muscle is the depressor labii inferioris muscle. This is the depressor labii inferioris muscle of right side, and this is the depressor labii inferioris muscle of left side. So we removing this. Now the in front of your chin there is a muscle which is the mentalis muscle. This is the left side of the mentalis muscle, and this is the right side of the mentalis muscle. The muscle, there is a big muscle extending from face to upper chest. See here, this muscle, this big muscle is called the platysma muscle. Look carefully. This is the platysma muscle of left side, and this is the platysma muscle of right side. This is the platysma muscle. If we remove the platysma muscle, the muscles exposed here are the sternocleidomastoid muscle. This is the sternal head. This is the sternal head of sternocleidomastoid muscle, which inserts in the sternum of the body, and it has another head which is called the clavicular head of sternocleidomastoid muscle. So this is the clavicular head of sternocleidomastoid muscle, which originates from the mastoid process and inserts in the clavicle. This is the left side of the platysma muscle. We remove it. The sternocleidomastoid has been exposed. Then we remove the sternocleidomastoid muscle. And now the muscles exposed in the neck are, these are the sternohyoid muscle. If we remove the sternohyoid muscle, the next muscle below the sternohyoid muscle is the sternothyroid muscle. Look here, this is the sternothyroid muscle. This is the sternothyroid muscle. The muscles highlighting, this is the superior belly of omohyoid muscle. This is the superior belly of omohyoid muscle, and this is the superior belly of omohyoid muscle of left side. We remove this. This is the superior belly of omohyoid muscle. We remove the superior belly of omohyoid muscle. This is the sternothyroid muscle. Previously we discussed, this is the sternothyroid muscle. We remove the sternothyroid muscle. Then the muscles exposed here are the scalenus anterior muscle. Here there are three scalenus muscle, very important. The scalenus muscles are very important for different reasons, mainly for relations with the important neurovascular structures like subclavian artery, brachial plexuses, etc. So look carefully. This is the scalenus anterior muscle. This is the scalenus medius muscle, and look carefully behind the scalenus medius muscle. This is the scalenus posterior muscle. So scalenus anterior muscle, scalenus medius muscle, and scalenus posterior muscle. This is the scalenus anterior, scalenus medius, and this is the scalenus posterior muscle. Now we remove the scalenus muscle, scalenus anterior, scalenus medius, and scalenus posterior. The muscles we see here is the longus colli muscle. This is the longus colli muscle of left side, and this is the longus colli muscle of right side. This is the longus colli muscle, and this muscle is the thyrohyoid muscle. This is the thyrohyoid muscle. from thyroid cartilage to hyoid bone. This is the thyrohyoid muscle, and this muscle is the right side of the thyroid muscle, and the central muscle is the palatopharyngeus muscle. This is the we removing the thyroid muscle, and the muscles exposed are the palatopharyngeus muscle. This is the muscle of pharynx. We remove the palatopharyngeus muscle, and the muscle exposed here is the thyropharyngeal part of inferior pharyngeal constrictor muscle. These are the intrinsic muscles of the larynx. This is the intrinsic muscles of the pharynx. We remove the thyropharyngeal part of inferior pharyngeal constrictor muscle. The muscles here is the thyroarytenoid muscle. Thyroarytenoid muscle. The muscle here is the thyroarytenoid muscle. This is the oblique part of the cricothyroid muscle. This is the oblique part of the straight part of the cricothyroid muscle. This is the oblique part of the cricothyroid muscle of right side. This is the oblique part of the cricothyroid muscle of left side. Straight part of the cricothyroid muscle of right side. So below your jaw there are several muscles. This is the anterior belly of digastric muscle. This is the anterior belly of digastric muscle, and this is the posterior belly of digastric muscle. This is the posterior belly of digastric muscle. Look carefully. This is the anterior belly. This is the posterior belly. This is the anterior belly, and this is the posterior belly. This is the posterior belly of digastric muscle. There is a muscle, there is another muscle below your jaw is the mylohyoid muscle. This is the mylohyoid muscle. This is the mylohyoid muscle. Look carefully. This is the mylohyoid muscle. Another muscle is the middle pharyngeal constrictor muscle. This is the middle pharyngeal constrictor muscle, and this is the superior pharyngeal constrictor muscle. Now focus on the big muscle of the neck. This is the muscle extending from the neck to the both shoulder to waist of the human body. This is the trapezius muscle. It has three parts: descending part of trapezius, transverse part of trapezius, and this is the descending part of trapezius muscle. Again, look, this is the descending part of trapezius, this is the transverse part of trapezius, and this is the ascending part of trapezius muscle. Now we remove the trapezius muscle. Now the muscles exposed in your neck are the splenius capitis muscle. Splenius capitis muscle. This is the splenius capitis muscle of right side, left side, and this is the splenius capitis muscle of right side. We remove the splenius capitis muscle. Then this is the semispinalis capitis muscle. This is the semispinalis capitis muscle of right side, and this is the semispinalis capitis muscle of left side. Now a muscle we see here is the levator scapulae muscle. This is the levator scapulae muscle. Here we see the scapula, and this muscle elevates the scapula, so its name is levator scapulae muscle. This is the levator scapulae muscle. We remove the levator scapulae muscle. we remove the semi-spinalis capitis muscle. Now the muscles exposed here is the rectus capitis posterior major muscle and obliquus capitis inferior muscle. See here, at the base of your skull there are several muscles. This is the rectus capitis posterior minor muscle. This is the rectus capitis posterior major muscle. This is the rectus capitis posterior minor muscle of left side. This is the rectus capitis posterior major muscle of left side. This is the obliquus capitis superior muscle. This is the obliquus capitis superior muscle. Look, this is the obliquus capitis superior muscle, and this muscle is the obliquus capitis inferior muscle. This is the obliquus capitis superior muscle, and this is the obliquus capitis inferior muscle. Now we remove them. This is the obliquus capitis superior muscle. Obliquus capitis superior muscle. Now the muscle exposed here are obliquus capitis inferior muscle. We hide them or we remove them. Then the muscle exposed here is the longissimus capitis muscle. This is the longissimus capitis muscle, a long muscle. This is the longissimus capitis muscle. We remove the longissimus capitis muscle. This is the splenius collis muscle. This is the splenius colli muscle. Sorry, this is the splenius colli muscle of left side. This is the splenius colli muscle of right side. It is one of the muscle of the neck. We remove the splenius colli muscle. Then the muscles exposed here are the multifidus muscle. This is the multifidus muscle. This is the multifidus muscle. This is the multifidus muscle of left side. This is the multifidus muscle of right side. And then there is a muscle which is called the semi-spinalis colli muscle. Previously we did the semi-spinalis colli muscle. This is the semi-spinalis colli muscle, and beside the semi-spinalis colli muscle, this is the spinalis colli muscle. This is the spinalis colli muscle. This is the semi-spinalis colli muscle, and this is the spinalis colli muscle. We remove them. Now the muscle exposed here is the, in your back of your neck there is a muscle which is called the multifidus muscle. Here the multifidus muscle has been exposed. We remove the multifidus muscle. Now we focus on the skull, the big muscle from your forehead to your occipital bone. This big muscle is the frontalis muscle. This is the frontal belly of occipitofrontalis muscle, and this is the epicranial aponeurosis. So this is the frontalis muscle of your forehead, and it is the, behind it is the epicranial aponeurosis. This is the epicranial aponeurosis. This muscle is the temporalis muscle. This is the auricularis superior muscle. Look here, this is the auricularis superior muscle, and this is the tempoparietalis muscle. This is the temporoparietalis muscle. This is the temporoparietalis muscle. We remove the auricularis superior muscle and temporoparietalis muscle. Now the muscle, and this muscle is the auricularis anterior muscle. Here, look carefully, this is the auricularis anterior muscle. Now a muscle exposed in the lateral side of your head is the temporalis muscle. This is the right side of the temporalis muscle, and this is the left side of your temporalis muscle. This is the left side of your temporalis muscle. So these are the muscles of the skull. There is another muscle. This is the deep part of the masseter muscle, which is the muscle of your jaw. This is the junction of the some sutures of your head. So these are all about the gross idea of the skeletal muscle of the face, head and neck of your body. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope this video will help you. Please subscribe my channel and do share this video. Thanks again. Assalamu alaikum.